Hello and welcome to week 5, round 10 of the EU Open Division. I'm Spaceman and I'm joined by the wonderful Nari Mizuki and Lafon. And guys, we're almost there. We're almost to playoffs.
It's I mean, this is one of the more interesting times because now we're getting the matches that matter, right? So we're gonna see, I think, a lot of high tier gameplay coming in for the last couple of weeks, or last couple of games actually, which is always very exciting because it makes for a more enjoyable match to spectate. I think one of the cool things here is we're seeing two teams that are, somewhat new-ish to this particular open division. Looking at initially at Team Cat, Nari, this team hasn't been together a whole lot.
You're not wrong. They've only been together for about, and supposedly, a little bit of inside information here. The captain of Team Cat used to be the captain of Team Qlash, the very team that they're playing up against. So this is going to be a little bit of a grudge match, and I'm pretty excited to see how it goes because both of these teams are 7-2. Supposedly, Team Cat dropped the first 2 games because they registered late for Open Division, which, if that is as accurate as they make it out to be, then yeah, this could be a pretty strong team for contention. If they win this, they still have a slight opportunity for possibly getting to playoffs. What do you think? I don't know. What can Qlash do? What is their response to this?
I mean, this team has a couple of names that have been around for a while, right? We have Bacon Thief, who played on Elotic, some high-tier teams, a player from Dopamine, actually, a team that is very familiar to Broadcast GG watchers, as they, ran up through Contenders last season, through Open Division last season, only to fall slightly short at the very end in playoffs. So there's players here that have experience, so it's not like this team is completely without it. They know how to play the game at a competitive level in this later stages of the tournament. And so I think here we're going to see a team, can Qlash continue their record of these players that have done well in history? They have Open Division playoff experience. Can they continue to do that, bring their new players in line to their gameplay, or will Team Cat kind of get control of the game early on? Because that's going to be the difference here. When it comes down to Open Division, right, you want to set the tone, the pace of the game very, very early on. There's not a lot of matches, and there's not a lot of maps to even work with, right? So you need to be on the ball. It's a best of 5. You don't have a whole lot of time to make it work, and so coming out of the gate fast is what both these teams need to do.
And so, guys, we're 7-2 at the moment for both of these teams. They need to win this just to have a chance to get through to the playoffs, to round 11, which is coming up next week. What do these teams really need to do? As we said, Qlash got a few new players, but they've got 3 older players who have been to the playoffs several times before. Whereas Team Cat here, yeah, they've got the ex-captain of Qlash, so quite a clash there coming up. But really, other than practicing, we're so far through this, through the Open Division so far. And we've seen a lot of goats, a lot of heavy compositions, but we've seen some interesting tricks with, say, Symmetra and Bastion on certain maps. Do you reckon those are going to be the things that are going to swing this game for either team, Lafon?
I don't want to really see too much cheese. I think when we talk about EU, we talk about tanks. It goes back actually for a very, very long time. Think Ninjas in Pajamas years ago, in fact, in Overwatch's lifespan. And tanks have always been a staple of Europe, and there's a very good reason why. They're very, very good at them. So I think seeing goats is probably what we're going to end up seeing. Going too much into the cheese side becomes a thing where you're not confident in your gameplay. And when you're playing against stronger teams, you need to know how to play goats. So I expect goats to be the flavor that we're going to get all match long, and I hope we're gonna get a little bit of that Zen Goats action, because that is, in my opinion, one of the strongest compositions that's out there right now.
So
I'm
Zen
going a
Goats
little bit middle of the ground here. Sorry, Spaceman. I want to go middle of the ground, so definitely don't want to see cheese. But what I will say is something that we've mentioned before in previous broadcasts is that the GOAT's composition, the current new meta, was devised in Open Division, and I'm hoping to see some new strats coming out from these players. We've seen some cool stuff. We've seen some quad DPS. We've seen the May Igloo. We've seen a lot of interesting things. So I'm hoping that we see a little less goats, a little less cheese, and a little more innovation.
A little bit more innovation, and I think map choice here could be quite important. We've seen in the Open Division before where it goes to Busan on a pole first map, and one of the teams wins out on that fairly convincingly, but then the team that lost gets the choice of the map next. And a lot of these teams seem to have set strategies for them. You've seen on Route 66, sometimes with quad DPS, sometimes with that little May bunker. So how does map choice really affect how one of these teams could make a comeback after the first control map?
You'd think it could, because teams scrim to what their strengths are. The only problem is with open division, you don't know if you're drawing into the enemy team's strength, right? Maybe they scrim that particular map. And so I think for a blind tournament like open division, it matters less so than, a sort of bracket style, but it still definitely adds an impact when you have control over which map you're going to go to next. So yes, it does provide a little bit there, but not nearly as much as it would in other tournaments.
And do you agree with that, Nari, or do you think doesn't matter so much, or it does?
No, I would 100% agree with that. It's very situational. It comes down to both teams and what they've been practicing. Yes, you could dominate on this map, but you don't know if the other team dominates on it. It's a bit of a coin toss.
Okay, well, I think my favourite team for today is going to be Team Cat, just for their logo, because it's so damn cute. But before we get into the action, any predictions from you guys?
That's difficult. I'm gonna give it to Team Cat just because of the logo. Let's put it at a 3-2.
The spot is very awkward, and I hate being put on it, but Qlash is going to have to take it from me. I mean, we're just going for spice here, so one analyst on one side, the other on the other, and I think it works out evenly.
Okay, so it's going to be 3-2 maybe for Team Cat, maybe 3-2 for Qlash, but we're certainly going to have a great Clash for you viewers at home today. And to bring us in on the action here, we've got Bemi and Suds and Bommels. So Bemi, take it away.
Thank you very much, folks. Wonderful introduction, and I must say, Neori, you're probably going to be in for some good innovation, because it's Busan's the new map that we're probably going to be starting on, and, still things are yet to TBD on how to optimally go about this map, Suds. How do you feel about it?
I actually really like Busan. Just as with a lot of these control maps, you've got a good variety of map geometry. We get a chance to play a lot of different compositions, especially if we go to downtown. You're likely to start seeing some Winston and maybe even some ranged DPS there, which is always a lot of fun. But it does look like for our first point, we are going to be starting on Mecha Base, which does lend itself to those GOATS compositions that our analysts are so excited to see here.
I absolutely agree, and I think also this is one of those places where I see the ice walls from the May coming in effectively, so we could see that May goats come into play, but let's just talk about compositions and predictions right now. What do you feel like going in right now, Suds, that this is going to be?
I mean, I feel like the May Goats isn't a bad call. I imagine we are going to get some kind of Goats composition from both of these teams, Reinhardt, Zarya, if not Goats, for sure. But here we're going to start to see what they want to run, and it does look like that's what we're going to get. So I'm really excited to see these teams go at it, because they should be very evenly matched. As our analyst said, this has a lot of possibility to be going to a 5-map series here.
Well, first, before we get to the best of 5, we have to handle the best of 3 within this set right now. And it's going into it. And looking at this Team Cat sort of setup right now, it's very interesting how they're about to go into it. We do see the May Goats coming into play as from Team Qlash, though. That's a little more what we're familiarized with. But looking at this, we're seeing triple long-range DPS with a wrecking ball into play. Like, what is going on here?
I mean, they're just trying to burn down the Goats before they can take position on point, and we are going to see some swaps come from Team Qlash. They're going to the Winston, they're going to get a Widow of their own, as well as a Mercy to kind of give her that damage boost, have the benefit of the res, but it looks like first cap is going to go to Team Cat, just because they were able to kind of freak out Team Qlash.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, certainly it takes a lot to scare a cat, but right now it looks like they're not going to be afraid for much longer, as they are just going to be showing their fierce claws in the offensiveness of these long-range DPSs, just taking them out one by one. I mean, really no way to contest them right away once you lose that, 2 long-range DPS you have.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like as they entered the kind of point area there, Team Qlash a little bit scattered. I think they got thrown off their game by this triple DPS composition a little bit, and now we are going to see the ult advantage on the side of Team Cat as they do come for another engage. Team Qlash, Bacon Thief just kind of looking for something to jump here. He wants to find someone that's not just going to run away from him immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And the target prioritization from Team Cat has been super strong, just working on it. But right now, there's Korea taking out a double kill, and that's going to be strong. The res comes into play, and right off the bat, Finny is going to be able to return. But that is Bacon Thief being able to gang up on the Mercy, and that's going to be fine for them. They're finally going to be able to turn this point around. They just have to deal with a couple of things real quick, thanks to the bubble of the Winston. The Zenyatta was trying to make sure that they live through this, but they are going to be traded out by a So. But looks like this point is going to be in their control after all, Suds.
Yeah, good job though by a So there to just kind of stall that out on the Wrecking Ball and get that percentage to continue to build. But now 10% for Team Qlash, who are going to have the Diva Bomb, the Mercy ult, and probably Sights here at the start of this fight.
Sights is kind of huge here at Mecha Base. It is a big open field, but there's a lot of corridors to hide behind. Dropping the landmine field. Interesting call. And So is going to go down right now to Fierce right away. And, I mean, what's the plan going on here? They have, they're probably just waiting for the visor to go out, or what's going on here,
Yeah,
Suds?
I believe they are just waiting for that infra sights to go away. And the placement of that minefield, while strange, I think was just to kind of deny that position that the Widow and the Zenyatta want to be sitting in. But now there's a Bob on point along with a So.
See what the Bob can do right here. Once again, that beauty of that ult from the Ashes, able to just contest last 15 seconds and do what they need to do. Here's just dropping the ult right away and just trying to make sure that they don't try to touch this point anytime soon. But I mean, at the moment, the team fight's still looking very much in favor for Finny, and they're just going to rush in with the Zenyatta ult just to be able to turn that back around and take back the percentage lead for them, Suds. Looking very close, but ooh, hello. Finny does take him down, but they drop the Dragon Strike, does push them back. I mean, right now, Bacon Thieves all by themselves, very low in health, and they're just gonna run back and regroup with the team, and the long-range CPS battle is just engaging at the moment.
Yeah, this is a very different kind of fight than we typically see on this map. They are going to res Korea there, but I mean, everybody just spread out around the point looking for these sight lines instead of the typical brawls that we're used to seeing here between the big tank compositions. And now 96% 14 Cat, we're in last fight territory. Fierce is going to be able to touch point though.
For how long, though? Dragon Strike does allow them to touch it for a little bit longer. Fierce does go down. Korea's able to take out Finny, though. That's one of the many long-range DPS, though. That's, I guess, one of the benefits of running a triple DPS is that you're going to have one DPS out them. Along with that Bob, nicely done for Rhea, able to charge it very, very quickly. And they're just going to go ahead and take this first map in a very unique fashion. Talk about innovation, Suds.
Holy crap, that is not what we were expecting to see when we started out on Mecha Base, but I can't say I'm not pretty pleased with it. I'm glad we're seeing something a little bit different as, you know, we've been seeing a lot of goats for a very long time. And now we are going to be going to, I believe, this is a Sanctuary? Temple? One of those, the one with the big drum is what I like.
I call it drum circle all the time.
But I'm interested to see if Team Cat's going to continue to run these DPS compositions. It does look like they're showing us triple DPS. Once again, the double sniper. This time, Reagan's on the Tracer. On the other side, Worse is going to run that Hanzo, Korea on the Ashe, and Bacon Thief actually on the Orisa. So completely different tank compositions from what we typically see here. We'll see. We are going to have Bacon Thief set up on this point very early.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they're just rushing towards this point. I would have assumed that maybe with the Orisa shield, you hold that stone slab and use your long-range DPS to just sort of clear out the point before you even go towards it. But I guess the Diva allows it, and kind of this bunker composition, or the treehouse, is just going to be able to handle this at the moment. They're sticking together as a group, which is good, but I mean, Reagan's is just going nuts right now, just bapping people and just dropping a lot of stuff. Pulse bomb on top of that. Not going to find any results, but they're still showing up on the kill feed, Suds. Being able to take out one by one. And honestly, this Tracer play, the switch onto it, masterful.
Yeah, Reagan's doing a great job on that Tracer. Built that pulse bomb so quickly and getting a couple of melee kills there as well. Just that last little bit of damage with the pistol whip, and you love to see that. But now we are going to see swaps come in from Qlash. Bacon Thief over to the Winston, Worse onto the Zarya. They're actually going with a Winston Moira Goats composition here, trying to do something against this long-range dive. I don't know if it's going to work for them as this Dragon Strike comes out.
Dragon Strike comes out, it kind of splits the team up, and John is able to get some benefit out of that. Kriya going down right away due to the Storm Arrow, and this is pretty huge. Sound Barrier comes into play, but I don't know what they're trying to go for. It's kind of a little all over the place. They're just trying to win the team fight overall. Looks like they may be able to just get this cap on it. Self-destruct sequence not finding much, and they do lose Keepa, so that could be a heap of trouble for them at the moment, not be able to have their support. But So is able to get the double kill, looking very strong. But I mean, a Wrecking Ball with the Zenyatta, how much can you do? I mean, there's lack of mobility. Finny does come into play, but there is the landmines coming in. Ooh, if it actually finds a couple of things, it could be huge. It does allow them to move back and forth a little bit safely from the drum. And oh my gosh, they managed to hold on to it. And looks like this is going to be them turning the point back around and still keeping on that percentage lead right now, Suds.
Yeah, really good by them to kind of slow that fight down and come back to end up winning it, only allowing about 30% to tick up for Team Qlash, but I'm not entirely sure that they had to let that point flip there. I feel like they could have continued to contest, but now they are going to have the Transcendence, another Dragon Strike for John, but the Coalescence and the Primal Rage. Dragon Strike's gonna come out looking for worse, but not getting anything just yet.
Oh, but there's a Pulse Bomb at the end, and that is going to be a deadly end of the rainbow as the Dragon Strikes keep on through. And they also do get a D-Mech as well. Bacon Thief, I don't know what happened there. I guess they're just trying to regroup, and they maybe overextended with the jump or something along the lines of that.
I think that is what happened. Bacon Thief just trying to reset, was probably pretty low already, didn't want to stagger himself anymore, but now they're going to need to get here quick. They do have the rally now in addition to those two ults that they were unable to use there, but both support ults online for Cat. They should have plenty of sustain to make it through this.
Yeah, let's see how they do. The rally does allow them a lot of that, and they already just take this point right away. They drop the landmines, however, at the moment. It does allow them a little bit more zoning to be able to do it. But ooh, So's getting caught off guard, and they get a nice shield stun. They go down right away thanks to the Fears following up those missiles. They get Keepa does get the res onto Name, but is it going to be enough? I mean, Fears already go. John 9 goes down already, and yeah, they're tactically retreating already now. Suds, this is I mean, they're smart to disengage, but this is looking like they're taking this fight all the way to spawn right now, Team Qlash.
Yeah, they are going to go ahead and just push spawn, which I always love seeing that aggression. And that was a good fight for them to win. They got the point cap early, which kind of allows them a little bit more freedom to look for those picks off the point. And it's really interesting how Team Cat is playing this, allowing those caps more often than not just because their ranged damage dealers can't stay on point. But Dragon Strike comes out right into the middle of Team Qlash, isn't going to get anything here.
A lot of damage, but the Sound Barrier does cancel that. The Transcendence just trying to just push this team. So just trying to go through. No shields, so they have to fall back a little bit. So a little bit awkward there. There's a huge grab. They just come right back out and they go down one by one. It's looking pretty huge. Everybody's kind of just put all over the place. And this is really awkward now for the side of Team Kaz. They're just going to try to stall and try to contest. But looking like, you know, Drum is going to be pretty much their map. And we got a 1-1 situation, Suds.
Yeah, really good by Team Qlash to kind of continue to take that fight very close to Team Cat's spawn there. They were able to keep them completely away from the point and just kind of get those kills one by one, find those long-range damage dealers that without the chance to kind of get into positions and set up a crossfire, they just weren't very effective. And now that's going to allow us to go to downtown where we were talking about. We see compositions like this more often, and I expect to continue to see them come out, at least from Team Cat, as John 9 swapping over to that Pharah here. We are going to get the double sniper on the side of Qlash with Freyu there on the Ana. So a little bit of a different support matchup here. We'll see whether the Bionic Grenade or the Discord Orb has the effect that these teams need.
Bionic Grenade, I love the Bionic Grenade. I'm a huge fan of it. I think if you can take advantage and sort of zone all together, that could be great. But I mean, with a composition like this, I think the Discord Orb could come out on top. But at the moment, Team Qlash looking pretty strong. They don't even need that Bionic Grenade, just taking out everybody from a distance. I mean, they really enjoy their long-range DPS. And man, if I was their main tank, I would feel so safe right now, Suds.
Absolutely, yeah. Korea doing a really great job there on the Widow. It's great to see that even though a lot of these DPS players are only getting to play things like Zarya and Brig lately, they can still swap onto those high skill aim heroes when they need to. Finnyfap's doing the same, getting that kill as Creo trades for John 9, who's gonna get rezzed up here.
The whole interaction of that kill feed was absolutely canceled because of those reses. Oh my gosh. Well, right now they're just kind of like going back and forth, doing a couple of dry pushes here and there. And what do you want? What kind of ults are they trying to look for? And what are their goals with their ults?
I mean, I'm a little confused with the way they're playing this. They're setting up these huge kind of surroundings of Team Qlash is Team Cat, and now they've got 3 of their members kind of trapped back here away from the point. They're all just gonna get wiped out immediately.
Yeah, movie theater's not a safe space because it's not like Blizzard World. You can't just go into those rooms and find your way another exit. It's just you go in there or you leave out. It's 2 people enter, 1 person leaves.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and Korea's gonna continue to pop off with these Widow headshots, doing such a great job of just denying any kind of space to Team Cat, who now is gonna make the swap. Reagan's onto the Ashe, John 9 is onto this McCree, as he has been for a little while now. So trying to take control of this high ground, but the Dragon Strike is gonna come out, and I'm not really sure about that.
Yep, I'm a little bit questioning it myself. I guess they were trying to see if there's any sneaky plays coming in from a Trace or anything, but they don't really have that right now. Korea's still popping off. Damage boost or not from the Mercy, they're going crazy. Aso's gonna go crazy as well. Drops himself to charge sequence, gets rid of the mines, nothing much else left, but it does allow Bacon Thief to just keep on pushing through. I am worried that we're may seeing a 0 to 100 here. We're just seeing them trying to push through, but I mean, this is a little bit of an unconventional composition, so this kind of doesn't allow anything for them to do. It's not like Mecha Base. There's not a lot of places to hide and run, and Bacon Thief just on that Primal Rage, not enough damage to deal with so much health going on right now. So it's just trying to get some zoning, and this is very interesting. They're very, like, they're kind of just trying to cover so much ground and multitask as a team that it kind of forgoes the whole idea of the teams trying. The wick will go down, and Team Qlash is going to go ahead and just take this series 2-1.
Yeah, wow, huge map win there for Team Qlash. It was interesting because obviously when we started on Busan, they were just gonna play that Zen Goats composition. Then they see the long range DPS come out from Team Cat and they go, oh, I guess if that's what we're gonna do, we're just gonna do it better. So
if you want to play it like that.
Yeah, exactly. So Team Qlash doing a great job of kind of beating Team Cat at their own game there, taking a lot of liberties and showing a lot of aggression, being able to not quite spawn trap, but really push their advantage to prevent Team Cat from getting any kind of map control with those compositions.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just seems so interesting. So, okay, we saw roughly kind of a mirror comp with the triple DPS, or just essentially the long-range DPS. What do you think that made Team Qlash be able to overcome it and reverse sweep on Busan?
I mean, I think it was just kind of recognizing what how their opponents were playing, because we saw they were playing very scattered. They weren't grouping up, and so using those long-range DPS is a lot more effective. And honestly, the other one is Korea just popping off, like doing such a great job there on that Widow, getting tons of headshots and stopping a lot of those fights before they even happen.
Yeah, and the Winston zoning, too, is kind of huge as well. The Primal Rage coming into play. I mean, they just kind of did what Wrecking Ball was doing, but I guess a little more effectively. It's a tried-and-true method. But anyways, speaking of tried-and-true, we're going to see a good old favorite. Route 66 coming up. Escort map. It's nice, big, and open starting out, and then it gets a little more closer near the end of the point. And how are we feeling between these two teams? Looking at their behavior and playstyle now, Suds.
Well, I'm not going to be surprised at all if we start to see some of that quadruple DPS come out that has become so very popular here on Route 66. And clearly these teams like to play a lot of DPS, which I'm not complaining about. We haven't seen a lot of it for a while.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, the question is, when the time comes, because there's a reason Goats is such a popular composition. It's the correct choice in a lot of situations right now in the current meta. So I think the question is going to be, when the time comes that Goats is the swap you need to make. Is Team Cat able to make that swap? Because it looked like Qlash was going to be comfortable on it, but we haven't seen Cat even make the attempt so far.
Yeah, it seems like, however, we're gonna see. Let's see here. Looking at this is gonna be pretty standard, unique dive with just sort of worse on that tracer. Okay, so looking at this, help me, Suds. I'm an absolute noob. What is the target prioritization in this situation?
So, I mean, Team Cat is going to need to take out Bacon Thief there on the main tank, as well as try to get somebody onto Kriya. Fierce is going to be just looking to keep them up, but now we do have this quad DPS coming out. So actually going to swap onto the Wrecking Ball, John 9 onto the Pharah. So just triple DPS here, a couple of ranged heroes, and no Widow to deal with that Pharah. It's going to be pretty much up to Kriya to take down John 9 here.
Seems like they're sticking to their guns with the triple DPS. I like it. We'll see how it works for them. So right now, kind of all by themselves, just playing a big old game of distraction. Bacon Thief taking a lot of chip damage at the moment. They are able to get around to the first part of Big Earls, or a little bit close to it at the very least. So just still taking a lot of damage, and this is, my goodness, so much offensiveness. Finny able to get Kriya though. That's going to be pretty huge for Team Cat, as they're just going to keep pushing through. Oh, but it looks like it might be a So going down very soon, but no, they managed to live through it, and they are pushing through, and looks like, you know, Rhea, nice target prioritization, able to get those supports in the back line as opposed to, I guess, some kind of line of some sort going on right now. John 9 will get the double kill, looking pretty good, and they're just going to be able to wipe it out. And my goodness, they've been playing a game of cups, if you will, just sort of switching around everything and putting in people in different places.
Yeah, that's what Team Cat seems to be excelling at, is kind of moving all parts around so that it's hard for the enemy team to really focus anyone down. That's why they were having such good success with the Widow, but Fierce is going to get an early kill onto John 9 to open this fight up.
It is a pretty huge pick, especially with the fact that the barrage was just right around the corner. But, I mean, Rhea's kind of close to the Bob. Could be huge if Freyu didn't just go ahead and pop off and Caster Curse me. Looking right now, they're doing great. Bacon Thief goes down, but I mean, it's Zenyatta right now. The Discord orbs are insane. They're just going crazy. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen a Zenyatta show up with the kill feed this much in open division at all.
Yeah, we've got some real coming out. Freyu. But now, almost 6 ultimates online for Team Cat. I expect them to kind of blow these into this fight, hopefully win it, but they make swaps once they cap first point here.
Who knows? You never know with these teams right now. They have certainly been unpredictable. Dropping Bob, see what they can do. Just gonna have them hang out in the back of the payload. Fierce is gonna drop the self-destruct. Bob eats most of the damage and looks fine. Just gonna have Fierce just hang out in the back of Big Earls and looking good here. We'll see how Rhea's gonna be doing. They're just starting Dynamite, see what they can find. Just hanging out with their best buddy Finny and see if they can find any results right now. And over here on the end near the actual Big Earls itself, John 9 trying to find some results, just hanging near the choke, seeing if they can pick off anybody. Looking pretty good. Finny and John just been working overtime, looking good here. They're still pushing on through right now, and they're looking like they're going to be able to finally win this team fight. There's the barrage come in, and they get the double kill. That looks good. The triple as well, and that's going to be the icing on top. A lot of ults that they had to drop, but I mean, in the long point, they did get within the time bank.
And that is exactly what John 9 was looking for. He lives before he was able to find it, but this barrage, just such a huge impact into that fight, was able to allow them to cap that first point. And now because that fight ended so close to the point, they're able to take a lot of space here on second and try to deny any engage here from Team Qlash, but they're actually going to try to just move around that defender's right side and move straight to the payload and prevent it from making any more progress.
Right into Winston Ghost right now as well, and they're just going to drop that alley. There's the Transcendence coming into play, and John 9's able to find Yoshio. This is looking pretty good, and then Rhea's just going to push as much as they can, see if they can hunt down some kind of crazy scientist going around, just using Tesla cannon. And it looks like they're going to be able to hold it down. They're kind of spread out all over the place, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled their distracting maneuver again to have John 9 have such a successful barrage at the moment. They don't mind taking time with these team fights. John 9 able to get Kriya. That's pretty huge at the moment. I mean, like I said, these distractions seem pretty good for them right now. They have him back up in the corner awkwardly.
Yeah, John Nine's got this barrage again. He's going to be looking for it. That Diva Bomb's going to come out, not going to get anything as they finally jump out of that corner and start to engage in this fight.
Oh, yeah, and also Freyu dropping the Coalescence, looking pretty strong, able to get the double kill. Finny does go down. I mean, the landmines are going to not buy them too much of anything. Barrage drops in. John goes down right away. Interesting call to use the barrage. And so we'll at least get one beyond the grave. Okay, Suds.
Yeah, swaps are coming in. We're going to see this May Goats from Team Cat as they look to take control of this payload again. They need to find somebody to rush down and just kill, but they're going to get grabbed here.
Huge ice wall here. It does have them go around, buys them a little bit of time, but they are going down one by one. And while it's a huge ice wall, it's a huge grab as well, as they were able to just simply walk around that ice wall and just take them out right away. I mean, they just got out a couple of ults. I mean, they just switched, so Suds, this is going to be a little bit difficult ult economy-wise to push through.
Absolutely. They made pretty much a full team swap. I believe only Name staying on his there. And
yeah.
At the same time, Freyu doing such a good job, but we're going to get the engage with another Diva Bomb coming out from Fierce.
Self-destruct sequence, not going to be able to find results. Again, I think it's just usually a zoning tool just to push them out. They're hiding holes at the moment on Team Cats and just to get them out to play with them and take them down one by one. But So takes out worse, and that's showing up the kill feed. Name's able to get Kriya looking pretty good. And, I mean, they're getting good studs. The target prioritization's finally looking good here. They're just sticking together as a group, just going, all right, let's focus on this. And now they're going to stagger kill Fierce, and now we're in motion here. We got business going on.
Yeah, that was much better from them. They were able to kind of avoid that Diva Bomb and then find the engage that they wanted onto Team Qlash. Now, Team Cat gonna have the ult economy in their favor. 5 ults online for them, only missing that Transcendence, and they're just pushing into the beat and this Primal Rage.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they're able to do it. OT, they can't touch the point, and even when they get back to it, it's going to be only 90 seconds. Blizzard is going to get eaten as well, by the way. John not going to be able to get that. It's huge indeed. But however, right now, it looks like Blizzard's not that big of a deal. It was just only a diversion. Team Cat so cleverly, once again, causing a distraction, dropping their Blizzard ult, just so that they can ice wall, zone out everybody, and just take this fight. That's a team fight, and we got 90 more seconds at least of this game.
Absolutely, and such a great shatter coming out. So they're in the defender spawn out into kind of the path of the payload, got 3, and they were able to clean that up really well. But now, Worst is going to have this Graviton Surge again. Fierce may be able to build up this bomb to combo with it. They're going to have support ults on the side of Team Cat, however, as So just tries to take some space here on the 3rd point. His team's going to help him with the cart just kind of following behind for the time being.
Nice target prioritization from Team Qlash, able to knock out that Reinhardt shield and the Reinhardt themselves as well. And I mean, this is looking like as far as they're going to be able to push it, but I mean, this has been a pretty valiant effort, especially with the fact about the amount of hero switching that they've gone through at the moment. Just be able to, I think we've seen 3 different compositions coming up for Team Cat. Just being able to push on here, doing what they can. They have a couple ults up their sleeve, so I'm not going to discount them. Let's see if John actually drops a Blizzard this time. They are dropping self-destruct sequence. Could be used. Ice Wall comes into play. Not going to find any results, but a ping comes in for Bacon D, able to find Heepa. It's looking pretty strong for them. Ooh, the rally outside. Ursh, huge. Oh, backing right around, and so is it. Some good results. Follow Ice Wall, and they're just trying to punch in their way to pushing this payload. 10 seconds left, sound barrier. They're just doing what they can, but I mean, this is just a push around the corners. This is looking pretty scary for them. Kriya does go down, and yeah, there they go. They finally go down by 1. Just taking their time with this team fight. They just go like, you know, we're gonna get this into OT. We just gotta do what we can, and hopefully it will be good enough. And they're pushing through. We're going to see if they're able to win this and get stopped. Actually, if the payload stops here, they may be, I don't know.
Yeah, they're in pretty good position having pushed it to 3rd, but they really want this final cap, and now only Bacon Thief's ult on the side of Team Qlash to try to stop this. Reagans is gonna pop the rally, get that armor up for Team Finnyfabs with another grab, catches the enemy team.
Huge grab, they're gonna be able to follow up on that. Nobody just rushing right on in there. They were waiting for their right time, and there it is. And so is just gonna be able to follow up with Fierce. Nobody's able to touch the point. They're able to get it after OT, and I am Duly impressed by Finny with just the huge grabs just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, he built that up so quickly. He had used his grab in the previous fight to help his team win it, and then he had it up again just for that final push, and just such a good job. The Maywall came out and blocked the shatter from Bacon Thief, so really great play there on that last fight from Team Cat. But if we can real quick, I want to talk quickly about Team Qlash's defense there at the start of second. We saw them kind of hiding there in that corner as they were just kind of keeping the payload from moving. And I think that was really smart of them. It prevented the sight lines of those ranged DPS of Team Cat from really finding anything. And since the payload was still in that little initial entryway, they had control of it. The payload wasn't going to move, and they were able to just hide in there, not let the damage come in. If Team Cat tried to engage on them, they were just going to swing them down with that high damage kind of tank composition. So really smart from them. I'm excited to see what they want to pull out on their offense. But Team Cat's defense, we can take a look at here. Still going with that triple DPS in the Orisa. What do you think of this one here, Bemi?
Well, looking at it here, Suds, I'm a little more familiarized with this kind of composition, just hanging out on top. Oh, well, there's triple DPS, and I'm not really surprised here they're starting out with that. But like you said earlier, it is the disengage and re-engaging that just shows the signs of a good team, and Team Qlash certainly showed that. So we'll see if Team Cat has that just as much on defense. What do you want to see them try to focus on? It's the Pharmacy, it's the Orisa, what do you want to see? Because RA Ria's popping off with taking out Kriya.
Yeah, you definitely need to focus on the DPS here. The Orisa is kind of a bait because she's so difficult to kill. If that's who you choose to focus on, it's just going to take a lot of your time and cooldowns in order to do it. So the DPS is kind of the linchpin of this composition, and they're going to be able to kind of hold them in these places where they just don't have sightlines as Fierce tries to push this card a little bit.
Yeah, push the cart just as much as they can. Finny's able to take out Worse, but Yoshi was able to bring them back. Can Worse be able to exact their revenge? I don't know yet. But Bacon Thief, nice little flank. They're going to be able to overwhelm that Widowmaker. Great stuff. The Winston is supposed to be able to pressure off those DPSs, but So is able to follow up, looking very strong, and they're keeping them alive, looking great, and they are just going to be able to take this team fight pretty straightforward and head-on, able to demech Fierce. You're going to be able to stagger the kill a little bit. I mean, they got a lot of cover to work with their triple DPS lineup right now, Suds.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing there. We did see Bacon Thief kind of dislodge the composition, but he got a little too deep and got burned down by all of that DPS as well as the Orisa. Kriya is going to have to start to find some picks if they want to move this cart anymore, but Hepa on that Mercy using the res real effectively, but here comes the engage. They're gonna get a couple.
Yeah, quite a couple indeed. Worse is able to get a triple kill. Oh my gosh, they just take out the entire team. They're like, you know what, I'm gonna drop Valkyrie. Worse, do your worst.
Yeah, Worse really popping off there on the Hanzo, showing us Kriya's not the only one hitting these headshots as we see him just decimate the enemy team here to allow them to push that payload. But now we are going to get swaps from Team Cat. They are going to move over onto this Zenyatta Goats composition, try to deal with the dive coming in from Team Qlash.
Fair enough, good on the switch up, but unfortunately all of the economy once again is going to come into play. There's Dragon Strike coming in right now. They're going to just use that as a little bit of distraction to see if they can do some damage. Storm Arrow just coming in. I like the patience on that one. They're just going to be able to try to do their best they can to just pinpoint exact locations of enemies and just flanking on around. Pushing on through, seeing if they can find any results along with just Kriya in the background. Seeing what they can find. Do manage to find a couple of kills along with their help. This self-destruct sequence coming in the kill feed. Finally taking out Name. And it looks like Team Qlash dropping a couple ults, but looking fine here. Not really a complaint as well, because, Suds, Team Cat switched over. So, I mean, that was kind of going to be a given that that team fight was going to win.
Yeah, at that point, they really just needed to build up some ult economy, and now we are going to get the swaps in from Qlash. So, May Goats for them. Also, I think the Diva Bomb coming out from them was a little bit late, but I guess if they were gonna swap it, that's a reason enough to go ahead and throw that out there. Team Cat staggering onto that point at the end has put themselves in kind of a bad position here, but Aso wanted to make this swap onto the Reinhardt, so now they're gonna be able to kind of go shield to shield here.
Yeah, I like this a lot, and it's going to even out the ult fight a little bit. Freyu's still having that advantage, but the grab could be huge coming in from Finny. We'll see how it works out. It looks like the May's trying their best. They do manage to grab him, and there's the Transcendence coming out from Freyu. Good stuff to keep the team alive, but can they respond in a quick enough fashion? The Ice Wall's going to be able to help out. Freyu's just going to be trying to throw you this, that, and the other thing along with their Discord Earth. Able to find John 9, looking pretty good right now. And they are going to be able to just pressure on that shield. The Ice Walls from the mates are going to be great as well. Just doing back and forth, but the So's able to get that double kill, looking great. Sound Barrier plus Earth Shatter, huge. Able to follow up on it. And Worse is just going to back away and run away. Name is just trying to take names right now, Suds.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking those last few kills on the Zenyatta, gets a nice little kick on that Zarya, finish her off there.
Get out of
And
here.
now he's gonna have the Transcendence, Finny Faps with the Graviton. Fierce has a Graviton of his own, but they're gonna have to, we're gonna see who lands it better here as they decide to attack from this high ground. Fierce caught out a little bit from his team.
Yeah, Fierce caught it a little bit. Huge Ice Wall coming in from John 9. That was great of them, but we'll see how they're able to respond. Bacon Thief drops in Earth Shatter. They do manage to at least find one person, but is it enough? No, So's going to get it. Oh my gosh, they get pinned, and then the So to be able to fire strike to get the Korea. Oh my gosh, they are just going to be able to wipe out this team very well. I mean, normally the Ice Wall is supposed to keep you protected and safe from the enemy, but they just locked themselves in that bear cage.
Yeah, that was a really great Ice Wall from John 9 to kind of single out Fierce, because that's exactly who they had to kill, and if they can do it again, that's what they want to do. But Finny Fap's gonna look for a grab of his own. So's got this Earth Shatter.
Oh, huge Earth Shatter with the Ice Wall coming in. Transcendence is also happening, and then we got a little ice rink fighting stage happening right now, going through the back and forth. But I mean, at the moment, Team Qlash able to still stick together as a group and looking pretty good at the moment, just to go ahead and start pushing this payload. Finally, once and for all, getting through this awkward choke, but I don't think this is the last we're seeing Team Cat at this point.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that the Mei ult is such a good substitution for the Diva ult to combo with that Graviton, because once you get everybody frozen, there's no shields to deal with, there's no kind of abilities to worry about, and you can just swing into that Graviton to get the kills, but a big Earth Shatter.
Huge Earth Shatter. Worst is able to get John 9, and that's actually kind of huge because John 9 can't drop that Blizzard anymore, so this is going to be pretty much them on the side of Team Qlash punching their ticket over to get this last point, and within the time bank as well. So now they got just a few extra seconds, and every second counts in a game like Overwatch, Suds.
Absolutely, 2 minutes for them. That was such a good Earth Shatter to just kind of screw up that engagement coming in from Team Cat, and now they're Qlash going to be able to take up the positioning that they want on top of this semi-trailer as they look for a early pick here onto Team Cat.
Yeah, they're trying to see what they can do with Team Cat. Able to zone out Finny one more again, but there's the Blizzard coming in from both sides. Who's going to get more frozen, though? There's a oh no! Oh my gosh, Worse able to block out the way, but the Earth Shatter's going to be able to follow up with that, and that's going to be huge! Oh my gosh, Team Cat's able to stop them dead in their tracks right now, Suds.
Yeah, you saw it again there. Great combo with that Graviton and the Blizzard. But as you said, Worse, such a good job to block the charge with that ice block just in time. And now, oh no, So's going to get singled out from his team.
Yeah, So's going to get singled out right away, and then Rhea goes down one by one, and the Transcendence Freyu, just nicely done, just kind of encouraging their team to just go aggressive, go, no punishment if they go overextending their nearby some health, and I mean, they're going to take that signal and run with the torch.
Absolutely, they're going to go ahead and try to take this aggression, push the enemy spawn. They're sitting on a Graviton and an Earth Shatter, so they've got a lot of tools to just kind of stop Team Cat in their tracks, as they're only going to have their 2 support ultimates online for this fight.
Yeah, but we're going to see how the Sound Barrier can do it. Could eat it. They're going to run into it. The grab is going to come in, but they're going to see the Transcendence come out and keep everybody alive. Looks pretty solid. John 9 does get caught in the Earth Shower, but they're able to stay alive. Back out with the Ice Block, looking pretty good. And then So is able to get a double kill. This could be where Team Cat takes this win. Freyu is able to delay the fight a little bit. Huge grab though, able to just wrap up and take out whatever's remaining. Yoshio's trying to contest as much as he can. Wicked's going to go down. No time to touch it though. It is going to be 1 for 1 as Team Cat keeps this even Steven.
And that was such a good fight win from Team Cat. They're winning these fights when they need them, regardless of ult advantage a lot of times. Both their final attack there to push it into third, as well as that last defense, just such a good job to clutch out these fights when they need it. And we are going to see this play from Worse one more time, just popping off on the Hanzo, hitting tons of headshots. That was a lot of fun, that map right there, Bimmy.
It was. Honestly, the series has already been fun, but let's get some opinions from our eyes on the sky. This is Ground Control reaching to Spaceman. Do you copy?
Oh, I do indeed, Bemmy. Thank you very much for the very fun handover there. And wow, I mean, where do we start with that game? Let's start on the first map here. Let's start on Busan. Mecha Base. We saw Trip DPS coming out the door there from Team Cat. Lafon, talk us through that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the beginning is as good a place to start as any, so that does add up. It was triple DPS. They ran basically 3 snipers, 4 if you count Zen, who can shoot cross map. And they put a lot of pressure. Immediately, what happens though is Qlash sees that, and they immediately get out of dodge. They go switch over to a dive-ish comp. They're on the double sniper with the tank comp with the Winston Diva. So they're running, sort of for pressure dives and then trying to hope their snipers get pickoffs. That first sub map wasn't that great for them because they were unable to really get any sort of pressure moving forward. And then it's a struggle from there, right? They do a bit of a better job rather on the remaining 2 sub maps, but for that first one, it almost seemed like Craig quite hadn't warmed up on that Widowmaker yet. Wasn't really hitting those shots, and for Team Cat, it was much better for them. I have to say that particular composition was interesting. I don't necessarily think that the way Qlash went about trying to counter it was the right way of doing so. When you're running that pressure dive and your Winston and Diva are playing so far apart from each other, and you're just forcing your supports to sort of try and keep them up, it's a real struggle. And so Qlash understandably lost that first sub map.
Yeah, running those 3 snipers, and then you've got the Mercy that needs to be balancing 3 of them, and then they're at 3 separate places on the map, and then you've still got your Zenyatta, who would be putting a lot more pressure or a lot more healing onto his tanks because Mercy's busy zipping between the snipers. Like, it can be a very chaotic composition, and if you're not playing it accurately, then it's not going to go too well. And yet it still worked out for them because it wasn't efficiently counted. So compositional swap ups and decision making is so important in this game. Like, you need to understand why you're running a composition. Don't just run it because A counters B, therefore I win, right? It's so much more in depth than that.
Yeah, we went on to Route 66 after that, and I mean, we thought we were going to see a lot of goats today. We saw perhaps a little less than we thought we would, but there were some really interesting points there. I mean, Cat's defense there, I love the Orisa play. Some standout players, John 9 on the Pharah there as well. Now, Route 66, I mean, wasn't too much of a change from Busan there, except for the very end. Do you want to talk us through some of the goings-on that map?
So basically what I noticed, and some information that we had from the team, I'm going to use John 9 as an example, stuck out. On the team sheet that they gave us, it says that he never played off-tank before he joined the team. He used to be a flex DPS player. And you'll see, during this game, he didn't play off-tank. And what I really want to highlight here is it seems to me that they weren't playing standardized comps. It was more a case of playing to their own strengths. Now, this is a bit of a double-edged sword. So, we can play Goats because Goats is the superior composition and therefore we should do better. But, as I stated before, A beats B doesn't necessarily work. If you can't play the composition correctly, you're not going to do well. So, it seems to me that what they did was they made the choice to rather play their or put their players on heroes that they are more familiar with, rather than trying to run a set composition. And it worked out very well for them on Route 66. Yes, towards the end, they did swap off onto that Goats composition. They had the spawn advantage, and it was a lot easier for them to kind of regroup, and the narrow hallways, the Goats comp worked out a lot better for them. And of course, it was the May Goats mirrored. But leading up to that, they were basically just running what they were comfortable on. And some fights it works, some fights they didn't work. But ultimately, it seems to be working for them.
It does indeed, and I've got it on good authority that we're going to be going to Volskaya next. Interesting map choice there. Do you think we're going to see much of the same Lafon, or are they going to stick to more Goats-orientated compositions?
I mean, saying much of the same can be literally anything, because we've seen everything from triple sniper to May goats to we had proper goats for a little bit, and then of course the double sniper dive. We actually saw some tracer get played a little bit on Busan as well. So when you ask me that question, I can say yes, totally wholeheartedly, because it literally means absolutely nothing in regards to these teams. I would expect to see more Widowmaker, though. Both these teams have shown that they're willing to pull it out, and they're both very competent at it. Volskaya has historically had a lot of great Widow sightlines, and can continue to execute on that. So I would not be surprised to see more Widow gameplay or more compositions similar to that heading into Volskaya.
We might see a little bit of bunker comp as well, possibly with the Orisa and the Junkrat, and then having the Widowmaker set up specifically now on defense. Obviously, we'll have the Junkrat and the Orisa by the stairs, and the Widowmaker all the way on the other side of the map for added sight lines. That's a possibility. We might even see a little bit of Pharah, but as Lafon says, yes, very much so, much of the same.
So, lastly, just before we get back in the action, any changes on your predictions, or are you guys going to stick to your guns?
I have no reason to change yet. We're 1-1, so I think I'm gonna stay with Qlash taking it.
Yeah, we're pretty safe. The meows have it.
Okay, right. Well, we'll see who's going to win out here. Whether Qlash are going to be the champions, whether Team Cat really do have 9 lives. So to take it away, Bemi, Suds and Bubbles, go for it.
We're gonna go for it indeed, and it seems like there was a good observation there, Suds. I would love to get your opinion on. Is that I totally forgot about this, but yeah, sometimes comfort picks are just kind of a strong suit in some teams, and it seems like, you know, they know when their comfort picks aren't working. But how do you feel about starting on comfort picks?
I mean, I think for a lot of teams, as they said, that's kind of the way to go. If the meta comp isn't something you're comfortable with at all, your comfort picks are just gonna work better for you, and especially if it's a composition that other teams aren't getting the chance to ever really scrim against, that puts you at an interesting advantage, because they have to kind of theory craft in the moment of what they need to actually defeat that composition if it is effective against what they're running.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I kind of like that idea because, like, you know, goats, we joke about how much it just basically anybody can do it, but actually in reality, it's very hard to synergize and coordinate a triple tank, triple support lineup. It's very unorthodox and different in that matter. But it's Volskaya here. I do agree with Lafon. We're definitely going to see some Widowmaker. Good observation from them. And we're seeing the Widow coming in from the defense at the very least, and oh yeah, well, we're gonna see all the long range DPS. Not much difference here, except for instead of it's the Winston. So this is very much what they did in Busan Downtown.
Yeah, it's very similar to that as well. I believe this is about what they were running on Mecha Base as well. We have Team Cat here defending in the blue. They are going to keep Hep on that Mercy, who has been getting just tons of reses onto these ranged DPS, which is so impactful in these fights when all you have to take them out with is the Widowmaker on the opposing team. So we are going to get a double sniper comp, it looks like, coming out from Team Qlash to try to counter this here.
Let's see who has the high ground here. Star Wars references aside. And we'll see what they do, because this is going to be interesting how the Winston dives into the situation. Like, who do they choose the zone? Do they choose to, like, overwhelm the people on the high ground on the right with the Zenyatta, or do they choose to overwhelm the long-range DPS hanging out over there, but on the second floor? But it doesn't seem to be the case. It just seems to be everybody's just hanging out at the base at the moment and seeing what they can do. And Winston not going to go in there, just does a little bit of intimidation. Bacon Thief not looking to cause any trouble at the moment, but they're not trying to go for this point yet. It's just both a team fight's a brewing, but it's a Cold War right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're just kind of poking, trying to find the positioning that they want as the Widowmakers are looking for picks, but Yoshio gets a Valkyrie and is going to go ahead and pop it as they move on to this point here.
Interesting call. Bacon Thief does manage to get a so that's fine. Korea does go down to John 9 though, and Cat, they're keeping it still humble. Bacon Thief does get Vinny though. He's looking pretty strong, but back and forth. But I mean, nobody's really touching this point. The Dragon Strike does come into play, but it's not going to find anybody. It does sort of separate the team a bit, but doesn't find any results. The bomb does come into play, but bye, Bob.
Right off the
bye.
map.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. All right. So that happened. they still in long story short, throw your bomb off the river and you'll scare your team to going back away.
Yeah, it appears that way, doesn't it? But we did see Team Cat do a really good job of kind of stalling that fight so that Aso could make it back. Only 50% ticked up, so a single tick Team Qlash got on this first point. Finifaps has swapped onto the Tracer to get back into this fight quicker, and we saw some really good Tracer play from Reagan's earlier. We'll see if Finifaps is his equal.
See if Finifaps isn't their equal indeed. There's Dragon Strike coming in right now. It's going to see if they can find any results. Worse is going to go down right now. John, nicely done on the target prioritization just to try to find anybody that's at one. Looking pretty strong here. Discord orb coming in from good old Zen here from Names. Just going to allow the team to, I guess, hold on to this point. But, I mean, they're missing a couple of members right now.
Yeah, I mean, they lost Finifaps there. Trying to stall it out again is the remainder of Team Cat. We will see Fierce start to take some time on this point as Bacon Thief taking control of the Mega Room.
The Mega Room right now and the Primal Rage coming out. Gonna be able to knock out John 9 at the very least. They're gonna be able to get that second point. Third point's coming into play. What they do have to just go through is so real quick. But one by one, they will go down like a stack of dominoes, and yeah, Korea just saying, no, this is our point now, and now you have to fight 5 minutes with us in point B.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Both Korea and Worse, once they start hitting those shots, they can take out an entire team, but now trying to snowball this is going to be Team Qlash here.
We'll see how Team Qlash does, just be able to try to take this. Color coordination is a little bit thing off for me. Anyway, so here we go. It's going to be a self-destruct sequence. Nice little bit of zoning. First tick going in for Team Qlash as they're going back and forth. Worse able to take out John 9. Follow up by themselves. Nicely done with the Discord orb. Looking great. Drops the Dragon Strike. See if they can find results. Does back off that team a little bit more. And they could actually get the third point right now if they so desire. They're backing them off. A good recoil. Just knockback one by one. This is actually really strong from them. Transcendence coming in right now. John 9 trying to contest this with the Diva, but can only do it for so long. Gets the mech. They're not going to stagger kill this one because they know they are just going to get that third point right now.
Yeah, and that's just a good snowball from them using the Diva Bomb and the Dragon Strike to zone everybody off of that point so that they can get that capture percentage starting to tick up, and then they were able to just continue to keep everybody back, get the kills that they needed. So once they got rolling there, Team Qlash doing a really good job for on that attack, and it looks like we are going to get a pause at the request of one of the players, so we'll
good.
Just
I need to process this.
Quick second here. It actually looks like we're gonna go ahead and unpause.
We just literally
so
took
no
a quick
time
second.
for processing.
You said it yourself, Suds.
Okay, I take it back. It looks like they're gonna go ahead and pause after we can start selecting heroes here. But really good stuff on that first round.
Yeah, really good stuff. So, I mean, Suds, what happened here? Like, there was such a... Okay, I want to understand the Cold War thing. Like, why was that happening? Why did nobody engage the fight right away? Was there really just... The initial point was to try push? Was it literally just, like, both wanted to build alts, not be too aggressive, and then fight with alts? Like, is that really what they're relying on?
So it's partially the ultimates, it's also partially with these compositions. Basically, you've got your long-range DPS just looking for picks. You want that pick in order, that's your go button to start engaging into these fights. And so your Winston is just kind of trying to make a little bit of space, zone the other team out, and just allow those DPS to find some purchase somewhere.
That's fair. Okay. That's an interesting approach to it. It seems like we are going to unpause now. So we're going to see what these heroes are going to be decided upon are. I'm very excited to see if we're going to see any shakeups or are we going to go to Ghosts? Because it seems like both teams are just like, we'll do whatever we want. Hey, let's go Ghosts. I see a So on the Sombra, and it seems like they just use that to gather information, and then they just go on the Wrecking Ball for Team Cat. So that might be something we're seeing. But John 9.
He's sitting on that Sombra there. That may still be a tease as they're sitting in the attacker spawn, but we know for sure now the defense is going to run this double sniper Bacon Thief there on the Winston, so it's possible that we have another Cold War here in Russia.
Yes, how culturally appropriate, I guess. I don't know. Fair enough. Just study some history, kids. You'll learn about it. Anyway, so here we go. Right now, not diving into any kind of history of that venue, we're going to see the history of Overwatch come into play with the history of a good old Widowmaker having that advantage with the high ground. Korea looking very strong. You're just hanging out in the back with some good old friends. Freyu, and just says, you know what, I'm just going to see what's happened here. Very interesting place where they are. They're right under the mech, which is kind of interesting. We'll see if the Ash is able to do anything about it. Rhea just trying to gather some information, maybe throw a TNT or two just to do some burn damage before they charge right in here. Not going to find any results with the burn damage, and we see a So pushing on through with that Wrecking Ball, as they're going to go through, and they just managed to attack. I'm fierce. What? Did they get knocked back by the Wrecking Ball, or?
I'm not entirely sure there, but the picks coming in for Team Cats as the trades now are starting to turn the other way.
Yeah, they are starting to turn the other way, but I mean, Bacon Thief is still here, still doing pretty okay on health, getting healed back up, doing what they can with their Zen, but Freyu does go down, and I mean, Team Qlash still holding on to it as best they can, but I mean, all there is left is Fierce, and they are going to go down. They do not hold it for much longer, and it looks like Team Cat taking a point right away. I'm so confused by that interaction.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure it actually killed the Diva there on the side of Team Qlash, but whatever it is, lost them that fight, as now they are going to make the swap onto this kind of Winston Zenyatta Goats, and still the triple range DPS coming in from Team Cat as they start to get pushed back at this initial choke.
Yeah, they start getting pushed back right now. Heepa just gonna go down right away. Almost saw Fierce getting D-Mech. Nicely done to just retreat back, get some health. Good disengage. But yeah, they are fighting back with a vengeance. They're like, you take down our Mercy, we will exact revenge. We will not retreat and regroup with them. They are just gonna push on through, see if they can at least get one tick. They also got a Bob as well. Transcendence coming out a little bit early, but a Bob lasts long enough that they don't really have to worry about too much. And this is just really strong stuff. Transcendence coming in with the self-destruct sequence, gonna be able to stop it, and they managed to get the kill before they can remech. That's pretty huge right there. Looking great, and there's Heepa just keeping everybody alive, looking pretty strong here. We see John also just getting a nice echolocation arrow kill onto Freyu. Pretty strong stuff, but I mean, they're taking out everybody, and they're doing good in the team fight, but nobody's on the point. We'll see if they finally make it on the point, though. So finally makes it on there, but super low in health, able to get that health back, though. Keep staying strong, trying to make sure that they stay alive. They are they just trying to dry push and then dry push again with also an alt fight within the same push? Because this is absolutely nuts, because they're going down one by one now. Korea finally just giving them a good old mace to the face, and my goodness, Suds, help.
Yeah, I mean, really good aggression here at the end, but what broke that fight apart was Bacon Thief's Primal Rage. He was able to knock all of the ranged DPS out of the whole second point area, knock them back towards their spawn, and that's what forced Cat to kind of regroup there. And now they're gonna just make the swap onto this May Goats composition and see if they can't find a little bit better success there. They are just gonna have this Transcendence as they push into a Graviton Surge here shortly.
Here, there's the Ice Wall coming in. Grav comes in pretty strong. They're able to just follow up on it. Name, unfortunately, grabbing Transcendence. I mean, it does help you heal quick, but it doesn't let you heal against just a barrage of fire. Yoshio! What? Okay, well, I mean, they were making their way down there anyways. May as well make it look cool, right?
Yeah, what an incredible boop, though. That gives you all of ultimate charge that you would get for doing the damage left on him.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's not how Team Cat wanted to go out, but now they are pushing into 2 tank ultimates with nothing to speak of on their side, and already their time bank is smaller than what Team Qlash had here.
Yeah, Team Cat have a little bit of difficulty, but I mean, they've come back from worse scraps, and we're going to see how they do at the moment, though. But it is looking very much in favor right now, especially with that double boop. Like you said, this ult charging is pretty good. Bacon Thief overextends a little bit, but they do have spawn advantage right now, Suds.
Yeah, and only one ultimate used during that fight in order when it was just the Diva Bomb of Fierce. So that's really good ultimate management from them. But Finifaps is going to have the Graviton. They've got the Blizzard to combo with it from John 9. So a good chance to get their cap here in this fight.
Yeah, very good chance indeed, but they did use a lot of ults when they were fighting the team fight, and they didn't touch the point, so this is a little bit interesting. There is going to be a Blizzard. There's a sound barrier coming in right after that, but it's looking like the Blizzard could be just what they needed. It helps them out. It allows them to get more benefits with the rally. They go into the fight with the armor, but the sound barrier does come out from Team Qlash. They are able to just push on through, take down Finny. Transcend is coming out, though, from Name, but Rhea still goes down. Worse, just being able to overwhelm them. And you charge it a huge Earth Shatter with an Ice Wall to be followed up. You don't want to be in that situation, but I guess Worse does. As they say, you know what, Team Cat, you want to wall us in? We're going to take you down. And John 9, or excuse me, not John 9, but Worse, my goodness, very strong Zarya.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know about that Earth Shatter from Aso. They really that in this next fight. 2 minutes left on the clock for Team Cat. They are again at an ultimate disadvantage, having pretty much nothing as they go into another Primal Rage from Bacon Thief, who has been so good with that ultimate so far on this map.
Yeah, it's kind of been very interesting. Korea able to take out Heepa right now. And, I mean, like, yeah, all the execution, but I wasn't entirely against the Earth Shatter, but the lack of follow-up there was just kind of made it difficult, and we're able to pop off with along with their supports, making it look strong. Freyu right now, speaking of supports popping off, taking out Finny, and look at this ult economy right now. Look how dramatically different this is. This is absolutely insane to me. Such, you have made an excellent point.
Yeah, I mean, they are just Qlash using very few ultimates to hold this. Bacon Thief didn't even pop the Primal Rage in that fight. And now they are going to have a Blizzard. Reagan should get this this rally up here short, but they don't have a lot of time to wait on this Graviton Surge.
Yeah, and they gotta hope that this Blizzard's gonna be huge. They get grabbed here, and there's the self-destruct sequence. Could be pretty big. Oh, it does get Finny as So goes down, and that's 1 by 1. 60 seconds remaining. And only 2 ults to the name. Studs, they could go aggressive and act just close this out right now, but what do you think?
I mean, Bacon Thief does have that Primal Rage, so they've got a great opportunity to just keep people off of this point with only 35 seconds left. And, but Finifaps and John have that Graviton, Blizzard combo. They just need to find a little bit better Graviton here, and definitely can't let it be eaten by Fierce.
Well, rally to them. They speed in right now, trying to touch this point. They do tend to take out Korea. This is looking good for Team Cat. They're staying together as a group. They're falling back, disengaging. I mean, Bacon Thief taking so much damage, but they dropped the Primal Rage. There's a Blizzard there, though. Ooh, this is looking pretty good. The Transcendence comes into play. This allows them to get out of that situation, but Fierce gets taken out. Are they going to be able to get this progress down? The Earth Shatter coming into play, gonna get blocked. Doesn't seem to find any way much in results, but I mean, they're still finding results. Whether they have the Earth Shatter or not, they're able to take out quite a good amount of people to get the first tick, but they need to touch this point. They need to run back. They're kind of interesting. They're staying together as a group. They're target prioritizing, but I mean, they're kind of at this point, they're in OT. They need to touch this point, and they need to make sure that they don't leave it. Otherwise, they will just lose this map right away. Here we see Korea switch on over to Wrecking Ball, see if they can just stall for time, see if they can be able to do it. But, I mean, after this point now, there it is. That is going to be them taking the point, and we're going to see either a win or a draw.
Yeah, absolutely. They do finally get that cap there off of a lot of ultimates thrown into that fight, but they did start to find some kills with them, which is, you know, the very important part of using those ultimates. But now we are going to need to see the attack come out from Team Qlash, who have 4 minutes to get a single tick onto this first point. So that's a really tough defense to come out from Team Cat, and the most difficult part of that is you can't step off the point for more than a couple of seconds because it ticks up so quickly.
It does, absolutely. All right, so we'll see how Team Cat tries to hold this and make this a draw to still make this 1-for-1. We're looking at this right now. They're not going any crazy. They are when they are on GOAT in any shape or form, you know that Team Cat they're putting their game faces on.
Yeah, and the desk mentioned it, but John 9, not an experienced off-tank player. So this is, I believe, the first time we've seen them put him onto an off-tank playing the D.Va here so that they can run this Zenyatta Winston Goats composition. Coming out from the attack is the double sniper. I think they're expecting more DPS from Team Cat, but they aren't going to get it, so we'll see if they decide to make some swaps of their own here.
We'll see how it goes indeed. I think they're just going to go for it, but they do have 4 minutes to work with. They have a lot of time to work with.
Nope, they turn right around, back into spawn. Let's see. It looks like they do want to go a Goats composition of their own. They're going to go the May Goats with Bacon Thief on that Reinhardt. So they're going to look to just rush down the members of Team Cat here and get that damage on them.
See what they can do. Right now they're rushing it, and RA nicely done, able to take out Freyu, and ooh, but they do get the D-Mech onto John 9. It's okay. They take out So, though that is a little bit risky, and going this aggressive route has not rewarded them. Heap all list all behind themselves and managed to make it back, but John 9, as unfortunately a D-Mech D.Va, is not going to have the easiest of times, and that's got to be it. Name the last one remaining, and that's the ice wall being blocked off from the point ever so closely to it. Not going to be taken. Qlash do take this in a very confident fashion.
Yeah, what an ice wall, but I mean, they ended up just getting a pick or two there at the start of that fight, and because of that spot advantage, they just are not going to have any kind of issues winning out that first tick there after that. But a big D.Va bomb from Fierce here as we see them start to, oh my goodness, the sextuple kill for that play of the game. You love to see it, but yeah, that is going to be
Powerful.
Team Qlash taking Volskaya, putting them up 2-1 here in this matchup.
All right, it's match point. You talk to Team Cat. You go like, all right, let's bang our heads together and see how it goes. All right, so you said John 9 is not comfortable on the off tank. I mean, honestly, as a DPS role, the May Goats wouldn't have been a bad idea either. You would have been able to get that zoning, and they've been a very strong May. Like, what made you think? What do you think made them go behind their head to say, "Hey, John, could you run D.Va"?
You know, I'm not sure. It felt like they were second guessing themselves a little bit there. Because I agree. I think the May Goats would have been a totally reasonable choice on that point. If you're able to build up the Blizzard, that can buy you so much, and the just right clicks coming out from May give you the opportunity for really quick kills onto some of those, even the beefier targets if you're hitting those headshots. So I don't know. That's the decision they made, and whether or not it was the right one, I guess we won't know, because they do end up losing that map.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but let's be half glass full. What do you want to see? I'm gonna focus a little bit on Team Cat because Qlash is at match point right now, and Team Cat needs to build it back up. What do you see that Team Cat is doing very well that you want to see them act upon more of to sort of secure this next win?
So I think they're really excelling when they use PS and are able to fights down into calling it, because when they do that, they're typically finding those first picks and actually winning out those fights more often than not. And So does a pretty good job of just finding the zoning on the Winston, preventing the enemy DPS from getting those easy sightlines, those easy kills. So I think if they can continue to find maps and geometry that allow them to play that kind of game, they're going to find a lot more success here.
Well, it looks like the map is good as a world, and that's a pretty DPS-friendly map in my eyes, just because of just the way that there's so much high ground advantage and ways to be able to flank as well, with also that massive tracer that they have, just sort of back here with their good old friend Rhea. So we'll see how that works for them. How do you feel about Blizzard World for the side of Team Cat?
I think that's a good map for them. We've seen Devil Sniper comps be very effective on there throughout the life of the map. So especially that second point has so much high ground, such long sightlines that they can just be so effective there, especially the Widowmaker. And first point isn't bad for them either. So as long as they can find the hold there in those first couple of points, I think they're in kind of their element on this map. So they have a really good chance of holding here.
Yeah, it's a uniquely shaped map for a uniquely um, sort of cacophony of heroes put together on the side of Team Cat. So I think this is going to be very much up their alley. And Team Qlash, they are at match point, and let's focus on them a little bit more. They've been doing very, very well. They haven't really strayed too far from the goats, except when they see them going the triple DPS route. And why do you think is that? Do you think they just go like, all right, they're good? It looks like comfort picks. Should we go for comfort picks? Are they reading into that much, or are they just going like, let's try to counter the heroes exactly? Because there really is, there is some synergy, but there's also not a lot of synergy.
Yeah, I don't know if it is comfort picks on the side of Team Qlash so much as when you have all those DPS going up against goats, you can start to surround them, and that makes it very difficult for that goats comp to function because you really only have shielding in one direction with that Reinhardt. So once they make that decision, it's kind of difficult to run goats into it, and I think they realize that and decide that they need to swap it up, find something that is more effective against that ranged composition.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Hey, if you got to counter here, you got to counter here, and that's, sometimes it'd be like that in comp as well. But man, either way, all right, aside from comp, we're in a competition. It is called Overwatch Open Division, a very high quality competition at that. And here we are at Blizzard World, a wonderful, vast view. And so normally I would ask, what kind of defense do you want to see? But I'm going to be even more specific and just ask, what kind of defense do you want to see from coming in from Team Cat? Or actually, Team Cat's not going on defense. That's going to be Qlash. So Team Cat's going on attack. So how do you feel about this? Do you think their normal like triple DPS is going to work with the Wrecking Ball, or?
I mean, so we've got, Team Qlash over here in the be defending first, and it looks like what they want to run is this kind of, it's a Mei Ashe composition with Reinhardt, Zarya, Lucio, and Ana. So that's an interesting choice, I think. Definitely some synergies there with Ashe and Ana, as well as the Zarya and the Mei synergies that we've already talked about. So I like what they're showing us here, and on the attack, it looks like they are going to do some scouting with the So on the Sombra. John 9 sitting on this Pharah, which I actually like a lot. They're going to try to run this pharmacy and just get that damage onto the backline of Team Qlash.
The pharmacy is pretty strong, so just getting that information, switching on back to the Wrecking Ball. Just going to push on through and see what they can do right here. This is match point, but hey, better times to just go ahead and just go right in there. Dynamite's going to come into play, so just kind of give them a little bit of the scare, a little bit of distraction as well. See if they can just have that pressure off the Pharah, so that way they can just go ahead and focus on everything. But I mean, Korea is just hanging out in the back lines, just be able to push on through and get as much as they can. Finny is able to find Korea, though. Nicely done, and that allows John 9 to go crazy like they are right now. Just hanging out on the ground right now. Just hopping back and forth, go and see what they can do. Finny's doing fine here. Nice walk. I mean, Wars is trying to just zone all by themselves, but it's pretty good, and in a very quick amount of time, Team Cat is already starting off to a great way.
Absolutely, So doing a great job of just being disruptive, knocking everybody around, so that Finny Faps can open up those sight lines and find those picks. He got the first 3 kills in that fight and really just opened that fight up for Team Cat, and now they're going to be able to start to take some positioning here as we get swaps coming in from Team Qlash. They are going to get fierce over onto this D.Va, worse onto the Zarya, so that they can do a little bit more against John 9's Pharah, as he's got this barrage ready to go.
Got the barrage ready to go, and I like the fact that they're holding on to it. They haven't dropped it right away, which is very admirable. They are trying to take this fight to spawn because they are staggering the kills quite a bit. But this is, they have great opportunities to just push this through. Do you want to see the landmines drop that chokehold?
I mean, I don't know how I felt about a lot of So's landmines, but it's gonna drop. Is probably a better choice here.
Yeah, it seems like it does allow them to push on through good zoning, and looks like Yoshio learned their lesson not to walk through the landmines right away. Interesting, nice shield match, but unfortunately the ground pound coming in from a So is going to stop them dead in their tracks, but nice onto them. They sleep Bob. That buys a little more time. A So's all by themselves. The barrage comes into play, does manage to find worse. It looks like they're able to find Yoshio as well, thanks to the power of a boosted Clara. And the pharmacy just still a strong composition since day one it was invented. Name's able to take out Bake Thief, and I mean, they are going to be able to push this payload just a little bit farther with at least a Transcendence in their back pocket.
Yeah, they did use a lot of ults. Finifap's gonna have that Dragon Strike as well, though. And Korea, the only ult on the side of Team Qlash with that rally. Fierce should build up the Diva Bomb. Bacon Thief getting close, but Bacon Thief taking a lot of damage here early on.
Yeah, Bacon Thief taking quite a bit of damage, but I mean, it's defense still. It is getting close to their spawn, so they do have the advantage now. And Bacon seems to go a little bit more aggressive once they know that there's that spawn advantage. But Dragon Strike comes in. No zoning really. They all were in the back area, so they are not really too worried about it. And they're kind of trying to make sure to maintain the high ground. John 9, unfortunately, just sort of, I guess, blasting himself. I don't really know exactly what happened. Self-destruct sequence comes in, able to take out Rhea. Looking pretty strong here. Name just trying to stay alive as long as you can, but I mean, you can't really outrun a Winston as a Zenyatta. That just tends to be sort of a tortoise beats the hare race. Is not to be the case.
Yeah, and we see Hepa does get a kill there with the melee on the Mercy. But that death from John 9 was actually Bacon Thief popping the shield up there right next to him. So really good job to kind of force him to shoot himself onto that shield and get the kill that way. So now we are going to see Team Cat try to take this high ground, but they get grabbed early.
Yeah, grabbed early and take advantage as well. Looking pretty strong. I mean, not much to report here as a play-by-play caster. Dropping the nano boost, interestingly enough, I guess just to send that message that, yeah, hey, we are pretty strong and we could use that for the team fight.
Yeah, the old management not quite the same here from Team Qlash. They've been needing a lot more on this payload map, but Yoshio is going to have the sound barrier in the next fight, and we are going to see pretty much the same pathing come out from Team Cat as they want this high ground.
Yeah, they do want this high ground by our grenades. They're able to find Rhea, but I mean, they're falling back, staying close to their team, looking pretty strong. So is able to find Bacon Thief, and that's going to be good. So no bubbles to protect any supports. Ice Wall comes in, they zone out whatever they can. They're just choosing when to gang up. And I mean, Team Cat has really strong target prioritization. Just absolutely great stuff, and I just like can't believe it. They're just going here. Look at Finny. That is just absolutely amazing. Just they're going to go ahead and push on through, get this point, and there you go.
Yeah, and now they're making a lot of space here on third as well as John with his tanks, and then Reagan's coming from side using
this King's bro. Oh my gosh! Huge Earth Shatter comes into play. This is fun for keep, but oh, there we go. Sound Barrier comes in. They are just going to rush on through, taking them out one by one. Akiba does go down, but the rally comes back. Just going to fight this, but the So goes down. I mean, at this point, you dropped a lot of ults to fall back. Ice Wall comes in, just say, please go away. And now they are, they're kind of at this awkward situation, because, like, if you can hold choke at that Blizzard World, I guess they're letting them have that a little bit. You can do some strong things here, but right now, Suds, like they're just going through the back and forth motions of disengaging and re-engaging with the grab, coming in, see if they can follow it. Self-destruct sequence, pretty big. Yeah, we'll be able to find both tanks. Yeah, nicely done, but the Blizzard comes into play. They could take advantage of it. They take out Yoshio. Are they going to be able to find anybody else? Blizzard not lasting long enough to find results here. The self-destruct sequence and grabs just very strong right now, and they are still holding them back at spawn right now, Suds.
Yeah, when we see Team Qlash start to get an advantage in the fight, they push that advantage so hard, just chasing them to spawn, getting as many stagger kills as they possibly can, and Bacon Thief gonna have this Primal Rage again, which he's just been so effective with in this series as he goes ahead and jumps into the backline.
Jumps in the back line indeed, and Bacon Thief does go down once again. Just very aggressive stuff, but I mean, they were just pushing on through anyways, and now nicely done. Rhea just doing strong stuff. They haven't dropped a rally yet. They are very much trying to hold on to these ults as best they can and just have some nice cycle. I mean, they're doing really good. They're winning this team fight very, very quickly, but as far as like getting to the point on within the time bank, this is looking not to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, only 45 seconds left here, Team Cat, and they still have a good amount of pushing to do on this card. We are going to see at least one more defense come out from Team Qlash, who have the Graviton Surge, but a big Shatter coming out.
Big Shatter does manage to get the D-Man with help with Nate. That's where it comes to the play. They might be able to do this. Use grab as well. I mean, the ult economy's in favor. Oh, but that's to use grab with a bunch of follow-up as well. But there's the Blizzard coming into play. Got quite a few freezes. They're going to just take the advantage of this, and they're actually going to go down one by one. 10 seconds remaining. Are they going to be able to do it? I mean, Freyu on their Transcendence, not wasting a moment too soon to try to contest this as best they can. Trying to get this ice block. Ooh, it is going to go into OT. Oh, and Fierce goes down before they can remake. That's going to be huge for them to at least complete this point. Now they just want to be able to do that so that they can go the full 15 yards. Bastion just coming into play. Korea just trying to do something creative at the moment. And, I mean, there they go. They are just going to be able to finally get that third point. A very valiant effort trying to do something with that Bastion. But, hey, Suds, they do manage to finally make it.
They absolutely do, and that again, as we've talked about, Team Cat able to just clutch out these important fights when they need to, and they continue to do it even at a little bit of an disadvantage there. So really great fight from them. We saw a lot of good stuff. That Blizzard was so well used, allowed them to really start to get those kills and force the respawns to start trickling out from Team Qlash. But now we are going to see Team Cat move onto this defense, so I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see these multi-DPS compositions.
Multi-DPS indeed, and you know, it's pretty effective, but I wouldn't be surprised either if they just went ahead and switched onto the Ghost right away. We're going to see how Team Cat defends this, and already right off the bat, looking like some May Goats is happening right now, but, I mean, Team Qlash, looking like they're going to try to do something creative when they can, but, you know, it's still at attack spawn.
Yeah, absolutely, and, yeah, as you say, May Goats coming out on the defense. So I think, as you said, I think this is going to be the right call for them. A little bit better choice than running the traditional goats if some of their players are not super comfortable on their assigned heroes in that composition. And May, a strong pick in this goats composition in a lot of situations. So attackers, we are going to see Bacon Thief come out on the Sombra and look for a little bit of scouting here, see what is being run by the defenders. There's the translocate out, and he's going to swap onto the Rhino as we get the May Goats from both sides, as Korea does swap off as well.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a very strong composition as well, so, I mean, they are just going to go ahead and not do anything crazy or fancy. They're just going to have unique ice walling zoning skills just come to play, but, I mean, Finny, beyond the shield, just going to get rammed down, but Name is able to take out Bacon Thief, so, I mean, there's a fair trade. The main tank is going to go, but So goes down as well, along with Worst, and this is looking pretty strong for them right now. I mean, Qlash looking like they are just going to wipe them out. My goodness. Just the fact that they pressured that shield so much for the Reinhardt and be able to take them out right away is huge stuff, especially with that Zarya going down early.
Yeah, Finnipap's going down early was such an unfortunate turn of events. Team Cat that put them at a huge disadvantage, and now we're gonna see Qlash move into second point with 5.5 minutes on the clock.
5.5 minutes indeed. They just pull up the ice wall just to see if they can protect them. So just able to take down Korea. Looking pretty strong right now for them, but oh my goodness. There they go. Team Cat is able to stop them dead in their tracks and push them back to spawn and punish them for a little bit of aggression. And now ult economy looking very strong for them. Now I'm just really curious how they're going to execute it.
Yeah, both teams actually sitting on quite a few ultimates. Finnipap's pretty far behind Fierce though, just because he went down early in that last fight. Same for So, but otherwise looking pretty even here as we're going to see an interesting rotation come in from Team Qlash as they go all the way around the back, leaving Cat to sit on the payload right where it came out.
Let's see how it works out. I mean, the Earth Shatter and then the grab coming into play, but there's a Blizzard coming in from both sides. See if they're able to follow up though. Oh, but I mean, Worst is able to find John 9, but oh my gosh, the Earth Shatter is going to be used. and they get Finny right away, just catching them off by the stands and see what they can do here. Freyu just popping off once again as that Zenyatta just getting really aggressive. The Discord orbs coming into play, and yep, Qlash, they are on their road trip once more.
Yeah, Team Qlash has done a really good job of using some interesting pathing to force Team Cat into positions they aren't comfortable with. You always want to have somewhere that you can back up to that is towards your spawn and behind cover, and they just did not allow them that in that fight. So now they did have to use quite a few ultimates, but Fierce already at 75% to another grab as they are pushing into 4 ultimates, and the Graviton gonna come out early here.
Huge grab on top of that with also just the Blizzard as well. Could be huge, but the Ice Wall coming into play and the Sound Barrier is going to help. Earth Shatter comes into play though. Nicely done from Aso, able to try to just follow up as much as they can. Yeah, they're just going to go down one by one. Nicely done. Team just goes like, yep, all right, Earth Shatter, everybody down. Let's rush in. Athena says team kill. And they got a nice cycle of ults going on here at Team Cat.
Oh yeah, and Worst did a really good job to use her wall to raise Bacon Thief up to save him from Aso's charge, but it wasn't and now these teams are just trading fights back and forth. One will dominate one, the other team dominates the other, and these have just been a really close match, but not close fight, which is kind of interesting to watch here.
Interesting way of phrasing it. I would agree with you 100%. Blizzard coming in right after the grab, see if they can follow up. The Ice Wall good to come in and just basically bully everybody. So just kind of going down, seeing if they can help get their team out of the way. And I mean, this is the most amount of team kills I've ever seen in a fight.
Yeah, and now Finny Faps and John 9 gonna have their Blizzard combo, and I wouldn't be surprised to take this next fight. So it's just a matter of how much time they're able to burn off before this payload is pushed into the next point.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how it goes with the Blizzard grab combo. Finny has it ready. They're probably going to shot call it now. There it is, and there it is right now. The Transcendence comes in. Keep it alive. Worst is just out of the way, but their Ice Box does not help without. Bacon Thief does go down. We prioritize it. Kriya does go down. Nicely done. There's Fierce in the pack of piranhas. They go down one more time. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, at the moment, because Worst was kind of away from the team fight, the back and forth is kind of stopping now. Look at the percentage difference between Worst and Fierce right now.
Yeah, Aso gonna have this Earth Shatter may give the advantage in this next to Team Cat as they start to take this high ground just so that they can deny it to the attackers here.
Do what they can right now. The rally comes into play. They are going to see if they can use this armor just helpful. And just like Reinhardt's getting shot out of the sky with the Ice Walls, just nicely done, trying to zone them one by one. But oh my gosh, a little bit of backcapping having them play. They almost touch to the second point, but not to be the case there. Huge grab, and there's the Blizzard again. They're gonna go in, and they're it's looking like Transcendence is gonna help out a little bit. Earthshire gonna fight quite a few amount of people, but they managed to get Bacon Thief just in the time. 60 seconds remaining. Sound Barrier comes in, huge grab. No Blizzard though. John is alone right now with 80%, not gonna be able to follow up on it. Transcendence comes in for Freyu, and that's gonna be good for them. Oh, able to take out Name as well. That's huge, but right through that ice wall, right before they can get zoned off, they are gonna be able to gang up on them and push them back 40 seconds. Nice use of the ice wall as well to get onto the high ground as well. That's a good thing to use.
Absolutely, and now 40 or 30 seconds for Team Qlash to try to push this in, and a huge spawn advantage for Team Cat here, but not necessarily the ult advantages. All they're gonna have is Blizzard and the Sound Barrier to try to hold this one at second point.
Well, they love their Blizzard. There it goes right now. John 9 is gonna be able to drop it. They're gonna be able to find Yoshio, and they're gonna be able to push on to this point right now. Oh my gosh, nicely done from John 9. That could have actually just stopped the team fight right there. Yeah, 3 seconds remaining. They're not going to touch this. We are 2 for 2 right now. And Team Cat has tied this up right now.
And what a hold to tie it up. They stopped them on second point of Blizzard World. Such a good job, and what a crazy map that was. Just constant Grav Blizzard combos, and honestly, the way these teams are playing it, they look more effective than the Grav bombs that are so popular throughout the range of Overwatch, and just Bacon Thief swinging away there.
It's like really masterful. I've never seen this before. Just like it's just how fascinating it is that like a Grav Blizzard, it makes sense. You know, the Blizzard has such a longevity of ult that it just allows them to follow up right after the Grav, because if you just like drop it right in the middle of the Grav and you're free, you're gonna freeze. You're not gonna be free. And it's just like, wow, it's just it's so effective. I just never expected.
Yeah, in addition to getting rid of all those shields, it just gives you so much time to try to clean up that fight, and that's what allowed them to get all of those team kills. But now we're going to jump right into map 5, going to Nepal, and we're going to start on Shrine, which is a really interesting map for compositions, but I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see this Maygoats, as it just works so well for both of these teams.
Yes.
Really showing a huge advantage in that composition so far.
Yeah, I mean, John 9, I'm so glad they put the build of Maygoats. John 9 really shining through there. And I'm not laughing at the craziness of this. I'm laughing from the sense of like, wow. And in the end, this would be absolutely just still the craziest of fights, and then just go straight to Maygoats. But I mean, what do you see here at the beginning? What do you expect here? It's a control map. Are they still going to do what they did on Busan, or are they going to do something different? Because they did get reverse swept there.
Well, we're showing Maygoats, but I wouldn't be terribly surprised if Cat wanted to run some ranged DPS here. That high ground off to the far side of the point can be really effective for those ranged hit scan players, as well as something like a Hanzo. But for the moment, it looks like we're going to continue to see this Maygoats matchup. See if we can't get some more Grav Blizzard combos, because they certainly clean up the map.
They certainly clean up the map, and they're really impressive. And just like, you do need that May to be aggressive though, so that way they can build up the ult charge similarly to the Zarya, so that way they're in keep with each other. We did see that catching them off guard a little bit. Speaking of catching off guard, the Ice Wall coming in, just trying to just zone out Bacon, but they are not going to be able to do that. Rhea just going to go down right to them right away. Doesn't matter if they have their whole team or not, they are just going to push on right through, because they're right behind that wall, and they're just going to push on through. Nice Ice Wall, able to zone out a couple of supports, even a So as well. Pretty good right now, and they are able to take them out one by one. It looks like it's going to be pretty much a team clash map happening right now, as Bacon Thief, nicely done, not giving into the pressure of the Mei Ice Wall, and great stuff.
Team Qlash taking that first fight without ults pretty handily, but Finifap's already building that Graviton Surge. Bacon Thief gonna have the Earth Shatter here to try to shut them down, and it looks like Team Cat want to engage from this high ground, but Worse is up there waiting for them on the Mei.
Big question is do they drop that Grav right now, or do they wait for the Blizzard? Use your Shatter coming in right now, but they do drop it. Are they gonna be able to follow up? Kriya goes down, but a So goes down. The Sound Barrier does allow them to keep living and thriving, and they could be able to hold on to it. The Sound Barrier coming back into play, I don't think is as beneficial, though, just due to the fact that the team is just still thriving. Yoshio goes down. They're swinging it back around to the point. They're going to try to fight this. Main tank does manage to get back. They are missing a couple of members that are trying to get back right now, but they do manage to make it back in time. They're just missing Yoshio, and they'll be okay. Huge grab. There's the rally happening right now, and there's the Blizzard. It's the Grav Blizzard that we've been all talking about, and now all the Ravens looking pretty good. They're freezing, able to get Finny, looking pretty strong. 56 seconds remaining, 58% on the board, and there we go. Tactical SD, they just said, you know what, let's reset. Let's not try to make this fight last longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, they are just going to hop off there, and if we go back to the restart of that fight, part of the reason Finifap's grab wasn't capitalized on is John 9 spent most of the grab just trying to freeze Bacon Thief, and that meant he wasn't getting the damage in from those right clicks, and he ended up going down himself because of it, as Worse was freezing him from the high ground. And now, same pathing, we're going to see if they find some purchase with an Earth Shatter from a So, if he can just land a Fire Strike here quickly.
Suds, God bless you for being able to observe this as an amazing color caster you are. Blizzard happening right now. We're going to go in and see the zoning. They do also use the Ice Wall. Nicely done. Just trying to get the team away from each other. There's overtime happening right now, but it's looking like a 0-2 real quick as they're just trying to push on through. But a huge Earth Shatter that does manage to get Bacon Thief, but nobody able to follow up on it. They're trying their best to push on through. So goes down, actually. Maybe they will take out Kriya. Sound Barrier from both sides. Huge grab, but not a lot of firepower apart from John 9 and maybe the Zarya, but nobody's able to follow up on it. Oh my gosh, everybody's able to live through everything. that's just going to be able to push on through, but Yoshio does go down. Looks like they're going to be able to finally push on through, and that is going to be it. The point flipping on over to the side of Team Cat, not making this a 0 to 100 anytime soon.
Yeah, they finally get that point, and they are going to have the Blizzard as well as the Transcendence, but Team Qlash are in a good position here. They've already got 99%. They can just build up ultimates and win a single fight, and they're going to have the Grav Blizzard combo for this fight, so a good chance that they go ahead and take it right here if they can land that combo one more time. But we are going to see them take that same high ground pathing, try to find the engagement from the far side of the point.
Good thing they don't go baited into the ice wall, and they are going to see what they can do right now to be able to find it. Grab comes in. There's a blizzard from both sides. They're going to do it. The ice wall happens right now. We're going to see the Transcendence come in fail-safe as a plan B just in case things aren't working out. A nice bin from Aso, though, but they do go down to Yoshio right away. Oh, user shatter. Absolutely amazing. Vacant Thief coming in to save the day, and that's going to be it. That has to be the team fight right there, Suds.
Absolutely, that's going to be the team fight and likely the first point win for Team Qlash here. Really good job by them to defend for so long, and unfortunately Team Cat just weren't able to line up their ultimate combos for the majority of that point, and because of that, they ended up losing it 99 to not a lot, to be honest. So we are going to go to Village. 1 point capture now is all, not capture, but 1 point win here is all the Team Qlash needs to take this match. And they're gonna look to do it here on Village. But I think if Team Cat want to play to their strengths, playing that a DPS composition, running the Pharah and the Hanzo from opposite sides of this point has been super effective, both in the World Cup and here in Open Division lately.
John 9 Pharmacy could be very strong. I just saw it earlier with casting Maori on one of the South Africa VS games, so we'll see if this is able to come into play at the moment, though. Just seeing if they are able to do that, but not to be the case because they are still running the Magos. I think they're not going to be trying to do it anytime soon, pushing on through. Ice Wall comes in, and I mean, this allows them to just, I guess, unlock the point, get ready to see if they're going to charge in. Target prioritize, build up a little bit, but Aso goes down right away. Ice Wall going to be able to block them off. It's just going back and forth. This ice wall just makes it for such interesting zoning. Fierce able to get taken down and bullied out by the rest of the team on Team Cat. But there's the ice wall, and they use it to cap it. Now they're just going to see if they can win the team fight, or at least just build it up to a decent percentage that they have a relatively good percentage lead. Grab comes into play. Sound Barrier comes into play right now. They're doing what they can. Earth Shatter is going to get blocked nicely down. There's the Transcendence. Here's the big question though, Suds, is it going to be the Blizzard anytime soon? Korea loses their rally, they can't drop it right now, and there it is. Worst dropping that Blizzard, and seems to be the win condition for either team. The first one to get their Blizzard is really the one that holds on to it. Right now, Team Qlash is looking like they're on top.
Yeah, and I don't love the way Team Cat decided to play that. They took the point early and kind of zoned off Team Qlash, but then the point hadn't unlocked, so they were unable to make any capture progress on it. By the time it unlocked, Team Qlash was able to push in while Team Cat's cooldowns were just pretty much cooling down, and they were able to start to win that fight and ended up getting the Blizzard up first, as you said, but now pushing in with the Blizzard is Team Cat, and they're going to go ahead and throw it out early here.
Yeah, throwing it out early, just kind of pushing everybody out just to basically turn this point around and cap it. They're very close to doing it. Take out Korea, seeing what they can find right now. Earthshire comes in, it's pretty big. They are able to take it out as Sovios go down, and this is looking great. Worse, oh man, Team Cat, they are looking right now. Very, very difficult situation for them, and they come close to getting it. This looks pretty dire, and Name's just going to go ahead and retreat.
Yeah, this is not looking good here for Team Cat. Fierce has the Graviton Surge, Freyu with the Transcendence, and only the Earth Shatter to engage with here for Team Cat. And even if they take it, they're going to have to hold this point for so long, but they are in last fight territory here now, and they need to win this one quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, this ice wall's going to be used. They drop Transcendence right now, but Aso goes down, and there's no chance of a res because no Mercy on board. And they're doing a Blizzard right now, and that is pretty much used. And what we've learned from both of these sides is that once the Blizzard is dropped, that is where it stops. And it's just going to be pretty much them going the wake down, and that's going to be the 2-0 victory. And Team Qlash is going to take the series 3-2, an extremely close game, Suds.
Yeah, and such just an unfortunate misplay coming in from Team Cat on that final engage. You know the Mei is there. You have to move through that choke as a team, or at least bait out that wall if you want to have any chance of getting a fight there. And unfortunately, they didn't. So went down. He had their fight-winning ultimate, and it just wasn't available to be used. So unfortunately for Team Cat, they are going to lose there, but a really close match overall today, 3-2 in favor of Team Qlash.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the May Goats as well. I think Team Cat and Team Qlash may have found something that they could work very well with. But let's go ahead and just break down all these notes with a certain analyst group that I'm certainly fond of, as we're going to hand it over to Spaceman and the analysts.
Thank you, Femi. Great throw, as always. Gotta love those. Okay, so Qlash take it. Qlash take this 3-2. So Lafon, you were correct at the start. So I'm going to start with you here. We were talking whilst watching that about ultimate economy, use of ults, and ult combinations, specifically with Mei as well. Do you want to just break some of that down for the viewer?
I'm still shaking my head at the transition there. Just wanna put a moment on that one. Take a quick pause. Think about it. Yikes. Okay. The ult rotation and combination. Yeah, this is something we highlighted a little bit when we were watching the game back. We didn't get a lot of time to delve into it at the halftime, but it does come into play a lot through this latter half of the set. One of the combinations that they were running was that Mei Goats combination, and one thing that Mei excels at, of course, is area control. She has that slow into a stun. Sort of stun. She freezes the opponent, so they can't move, and then you're able to take control of that. One of the things that really means is that tanks have to watch their positioning immensely, because if you are out of position, you're gonna get charged, you're gonna get shield bashed, you're gonna get discorded, and then you're gonna get blown up. There's a lot at play here, and with the changes, of course, to Mei, where she's able to freeze multiple targets, which happened a little while ago actually, where she's able to freeze those multiple targets, she becomes a little bit more viable against many tanks. So that is one of the reasons why you see her in play. She really does work against Goats in the sense that she's able to control the group. What that means, though, is that tanks have to play their rotations cleanly. And both these teams, they seemed less keen on making the tanks stay alive as opposed to just trying to build their killing blow faster. And sometimes what that means is that you just end up having a stalemate, which through Blizzard World and, of course, through initial parts of Nepal, that was what came to be. I think at the end of the day, though, you saw from Qlash a more rigorous structure in the last map, which ended up with the being the reason why they took the victory.
And Nari, anything to add on that with regards to the ultimates, or anything throughout the 3 maps we just witnessed there?
Well, a big point as well for ultimates that we did notice was the over usage of ultimates, right? Over investment, that's the word. So you go into a fight, you're 2 down, the fight's lost. I mean, you've lost like your Reinhardt and your Brigitte, right? Your Goat's composition is effectively dead. You need to regroup. And then we get a sound barrier or a transcendence or literally any ultimate, and I'm thinking, why? You've lost the fight. You have 3 ultimates in your bank. Now you've wasted 1 and possibly 2, because we saw that as well when we saw stacking support ultimates for no reason. Now you have to regroup. The enemy team still have 4 or 5 ultimates. You've down to 1 because you've wasted 2, so your next push is effectively useless. You really got to be thinking about how you're going to be utilizing, especially some of the more important ones. The Mei ultimate is huge. The Graviton is huge. The Transcendence is huge. These are ults that you cannot afford to be wasting. The funniest thing that I did see in terms of just ultimates was Reinhardt went in for an Earth Shatter and Mei put up a wall and just completely blocked her own Reinhardt's Earth Shatter. Guys, you gotta be communicating that kind of thing. That's an ultimate wasted just in lieu of 1 cooldown of your own Mei. Your ults are way too important, even in this Goat's composition, where ultimates can be built up relatively quickly. They're still super important, especially if you want to be winning these game-changing fights. The fights in between are important, But the most important fights are the ones at the end, the 99 to 99 fights, the overtime pushes. Those are the fights you need to be winning. And if you've blown all of your ultimates in previous fights and you go into those fights dry, you've effectively lost. Unless, I don't know, Kriya pops off and kills everybody again on that Widowmaker. But yeah, definitely need to be looking at that.
Indeed, and as much as we'd love to break down even more of the game we've just witnessed, we do actually have our next game coming up in, I think, just over about 10 minutes' time. So we're going to take a short break here. And I just want to say thank you to our analysts, Nauri and Lafon, and thank you to our casters as well, Bemi, Suds, and Bubbles. And thanks to Toadette for doing all the production work behind the scenes. And thank you for the viewers for joining us. We are Broadcast GG, a community of broadcasters doing everything under the sun, from casting, analysts, hosting. If you want to get involved, the links are all down below, and be sure to follow to catch up on more Overwatch action. But that's it from me, Spaceman, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes' time, so cheerio.